I just still don't think that order is entirely separate from control. It's a result of control. I need like an example of order that doesn't come from control.
So what you're describing is exactly why I have this background. Most people think that being able to control the situation and the variables and the people is power. And yes, that is a source, an example of power, but I'm saying true power at its core needs no control because the order is already established. There is no need. And that's what it's going to be like in heaven. No war, no hate, no jealousy, no death, no crime, no wars.
What if you are the type of person who likes war? Are you just not going to go to heaven?
You know, the only reason why people would like war is for money.
Liz Cheney, Dick Cheney's repulsive little daughter,
wanted to go to war with people. She's a radical war hawk. Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay? Let's see how she feels about it.
You're right that I do put my trust in institutions that I have that have proven themselves to be likely to be trustworthy.
Well, that's been the case since basically the medical profession was infiltrated in the early 1900s by high-level interests that didn't want us thinking for ourselves and carrying on with the natural cures that actually work, carrying on with normal midwifery. There was just so many changes that happened as a result of best practice medicine, not to mention the forming of the AMA by a couple of real quacks. Remember when doctors smoked camels because camels were best?
What I don't see from God is the same kind of proof or evidence of existence. He's not constantly answering prayers to everybody. He's not constantly showing miracles. He's not doing it.
God is like Bruce Almighty?
Well, you took the job, Bruce, so I suggest you get to it.
Okay, I had to have made some kind of a dent by now. Oh, come on! Yes, 2-all. Yeah, there you go. Now everybody's happy.
if he were telling the truth, he wouldn't have told us.
Unless, of course, he knew you wouldn't believe the truth, even if he told us.
How y'all doing, everybody? Welcome on in. New background today. Weak power seeks control. True power has order. Power is for order, not control. God's order, do not eat. Serpent's control, you won't die. Become like God. Join if you still don't get it. This is talking about power. What do you believe power is? Do you believe being able to control everything around you is power? Or do you think having order is true power? A land without any laws, because there's no need, because there's true order. Control is a form of power, but...
Lashit, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, Faceless. How are you?
I'm good.
So I'm not really sure what the difference is between, isn't order just a result of control? I'm not sure that they are separate things.
No. I'll give you a passage in the Bible. It says that the law was not given for the righteous, but for the unrighteous. My wife used to say things like, I don't need to live with laws because I don't break them. She lives within a framework that she believes to be a way of living. She doesn't need the laws, although she's broke a lot of laws. She taught me how to break a lot of laws too, but that's neither here nor there. That's how she felt. And when it comes to the Bible, the law was not meant for the righteous, but for the sinners.
Yeah, I understand that. The law only applies to people who are going to sin because the law is about sin. That makes perfect sense, and that follows. I just still don't think that order is entirely separate from control. It's a result of control. I need like an example of order that doesn't come from control.
So what you're describing is exactly why I have this background. Most people think that being able to control the situation and the variables and the people is power. And yes, that is a source, an example of power, but I'm saying true power at its core needs no control because the order is already established. And the thing is you and I were both created in the image of God. So you have a general notion of good in you. So do I. But the thing is I give credit to Jesus, you give credit to yourself. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I give credit to the universe as a whole for what I am, but that's still pretty much the same thing. Atheists are all different. But I will say that I think I understand you a little bit better. When you're talking about order, you're talking about being able to willingly follow the law because it's what you want to do. So you're not controlling anything. You're just following the order that is in place.
Correct. So there's no need to have a force trying to enforce because true power at its core when everything is right and set in place in a perfect world, there is no need. And that's what it's going to be like in heaven. No war, no hate, no jealousy, no death, no crime, no wars.
What if you are the type of person who likes war? Are you just not going to go to heaven?
You know, the only reason why people would like war is for money. And you're known by your fruit. And so even at a very small scale, like a car salesman is going to be no different than a person that loves war. It's all about the money and maximizing their pay plan. Why else would someone want to go to war? Maybe because he has a freaking weapons manufacturing company that will benefit greatly. But no one truly loves war, especially if they themselves have to fight in it.
Is it weird for you to see Liz Cheney, that'd be Dick Cheney's repulsive little daughter, running against you with Kamala Harris?
Well, I think it hurts Kamala a lot, actually. Look, she's a deranged person. But the reason she couldn't stand me is that she always wanted to go to war with people. I don't want to go to war. She wanted to stay in Syria. I took him out. She wanted to stay in Iraq. I took him out. I mean, if it were up to her, we'd be in 50 different countries. She's a radical war hawk. Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay? Let's see how she feels about it. You know, when the guns are trained on her face. You know, they're all war hawks when they're sitting in Washington in a nice building saying, oh, gee, let's send 10,000 troops right into the mouth of the enemy. But she's a stupid person.
Yeah, I think some people do, but that's not really that important because it's a small percentage of the population. I was just trying to talk about the idea that if someone is good but then goes to heaven, what if there's things that are in heaven that they want but don't have anymore, like sadness and jealousy? Is there sadness in heaven?
Why would you want sadness? Why would you want jealousy? Why would you want more?
Because it adds more to life. It like the lows make the highs that much better.
In this life. But once you're up there, everything is made new. Your eternal body. You're seated in heavenly places. All things are made new for those who believe and are adopted into his family.
Well, I don't want to be made new. I'd want to just either not exist, or if I'm going to exist in heaven, I want to be me, like no changes.
Bro, you're going to be Super Saiyan you.
I don't know how to explain this, but based on what I'm sensing, it's safe to say he didn't survive on dumb luck.
Something's different about him, that's for sure. Yes, I'm sensing an incredible strength from him, and yet his energy is so calm it's giving me the creeps.
Let us watch and see what happens. After all, this is the first time even I have seen Goku in this curious state.
That's what I'm trying to say. It's not like you cease to be you. I'm gonna be me. I'm just gonna be a way better me.
In what way? Because we abandon our negative feelings?
Oh, okay, I'll give you a perfect example. I look like a little boy, but I'm in my 40s and my body is shot to shit. I've got neuropathy in my hands. I've got all kinds of back and neck pains, freaking groin pains. I just went and got an ultrasound today for my groin area because my back pain is starting to radiate into groin pain, and it sometimes feels like a case of getting kicked in the nuts the whole time.
That sucks.
Yeah, so of course I want to leave this body. I can't wait to shed this old body and be in my new body.
Well, that's fine if we just get a new body. That's fine. I'm more concerned about our mind.
That's what it is. It's not like you just become a new creation, bro. Those who believe in Jesus, when we die and we are brought into our heavenly bodies that are already seated in heavenly places, our fleshly bodies, they go 6 feet under, man. Our fleshly bodies are meaningless. It's the spirit that quickens. The flesh profiteth nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm mostly concerned with free will, but I think that you've kind of addressed it already. It's this idea of order, right? That the only people that go to heaven are the ones that don't need control.
No, it's not that, man. That makes it sound like it's all about work-based and it's only the good people that get to heaven. No, it's not that. It's those who believe that the work that was done on the cross was sufficient enough to pay for their debts. For the wages of sin is death. And the blood of Jesus shed on the cross was what paid that debt for us. That's why he said to Telestai, the debt has been paid in full. He paid your full entire contract. You don't have to be set up on no pay plan.
I can't afford it today. I'll get it out someday. I'll put it on layaway.
It's done. It's finished.
Well, this is the real concern atheists have, is that it seems like God has set up a system where he does not prove himself. He only gives enough evidence for most people to believe, but not even know that it's for a fact. And then he is going to judge us based off that belief.
All right, Machino, listen. How can you say he hasn't proven himself? Jesus came in the flesh, performed all of these miracles, died on the cross, rose again on the third day, appeared before over 500. And we've got all the eyewitness testimonies. Just
No, you don't.
2,000 years removed. Yes, we do.
You have secondhand accounts. You don't have any eyewitness firsthand accounts.
These are eyewitness accounts. The Gospel of John was written by John. Just because the earliest manuscript of John was found in Cairo, Egypt in the 2nd century does not mean that John did not write that. The very fact that that manuscript was in circulation as far as Egypt by the beginning of the 2nd century would only confirm that it was written in the 1st century.
We don't know that John was written by John. None of the Gospels were written.
Bro, if you read the Gospel of John, in many places it says, the guy that's writing this shit down, that saw this shit, is testifying in this shit. So, I mean, bro, if you read the damn thing, you would know that shit was written by John.
It is in first person. I agree. It's more likely written by John than not. I'm just saying it's not proven. This is the thing. The bar of proof is very high. And people who believe in the religion, they have a lower bar of proof than is acceptable to most atheists.
And when you get your prescription from your doctor, do you go and look up every single active ingredient and every single side effect and question him on everything? Or do you just trust his judgment when he prescribes a certain medication for a certain issue that he's been helping you with?
I accept the risk out of practicality.
The people that have been vaccinated, you treat them. And the people that took horse goo, rest in peace, Wheezy. Really? Is that really how you feel? People that are sick from a disease that was created in a fucking lab that was funded by our own tax dollars? That's how you feel like? Those people should just die because they don't trust the government or they don't trust the pharmaceutical industrial complex that's been responsible for lying so many fucking times. They're literally criminal organizations that have some of the biggest criminal fines in the history of this country. And that all of a sudden, they're the ones we're supposed to trust? The liberals were always the ones that were anti-big pharma.
No, but I'm saying, like, you and I, if we're in a doctor's office and they're about to prescribe us medicine, typically we're going to ask some degree of questions, right?
Yeah, most people would, yeah.
So I'm not saying that. I'm saying, do you go above and beyond that and say, well, I can't get this prescription filled until I go and do the research on every single little nook and cranny that I can find out on this medication? Or do you put your faith in your doctor and know that he has your best interest at heart? I mean, if we're just living in an ideal world, a lot of doctors don't really have your best interest.
Well, I know what you're saying. I get it. So you're right that I do put my trust in institutions that I have that have proven themselves to be likely to be trustworthy.
Nobody wants to think you're making business decisions at the expense of someone's health and possibly whether or not they make it. What are you doing?
Well, that's been the case since basically the medical profession was infiltrated in the early 1900s by high-level interests that didn't want us thinking for ourselves and carrying on with the natural cures that actually work, carrying on with normal midwifery. There was just so many changes that happened as a result of best practice medicine, not to mention the forming of the AMA by a couple of real quacks. That's a really good story. And the AMA would give their stamp of approval. So say you created an infant formula, well, it would say AMA approved, and your infant formula would sell even better. Or remember when doctors smoked Camels because Camels were best?
And the medical field is an example of one of those. The scientific community is another example of those.
Now, they say they have evidence for evolution. They say they have evidence from fossils. I'm telling you, folks, in a court of law, fossils wouldn't hold up 1 second as evidence. You bring in your bones and say, these bones are the ancestors of us today. They're going to laugh at you and say, Your Honor, he can't prove those bones had any kids. He sure can't prove they had different kids. Absolutely no fossils could possibly count in this discussion. When you find fossils in the dirt, all you know is it died. So don't tell me fossils are evidence for evolution. They talk about the fossil record. I say, hold it, first place, there is no fossil record. There are a bunch of bones in the dirt. It's not a record, okay? There aren't dates on them. There are just a bunch of bones in the dirt. All of the so-called evidence for evolution from the cavemen that I'm aware of, and I've studied it real actively now for 30-some years, all of it has been discredited. I mean, you pick your caveman, Homo erectus, Java man, Piltdown man, Lucy, they've all been discredited. This article in the newspaper says, he's the daddy of us all. This is silly. You don't know he's the daddy of anybody. All you know is he found some bones in the dirt. That's all you know. You can't prove he had any kids that lived. Don't tell me he's the daddy of us all. They're lying to you, okay? The textbooks tell the kids each of the layers of rock is a different age. The whole geologic column is baloney. It doesn't exist any place on Earth except the textbooks. There is no geologic column. This guy admits it. He said if there were a column of sediments, unfortunately no such column exists. It's a great theory, but it's not science. It's not observable. You can have all the theories you want, but where's the beef? Where's the evidence, okay? All over the world, petrified trees are found standing up, connecting these layers. Now here they are telling us these layers are different ages, and yet we got petrified trees connecting them. They're not different ages, folks. They all formed in one big flood in the days of Noah.
Typically, the government is honest, except for the things that have to do with the military and foreign stuff. But what I don't see from God is the same kind of proof or evidence of existence. He's not constantly answering the prayers to everybody. He's not constantly showing miracles. He's not doing anything.
God is like Bruce Almighty?
Well, you took the job, Bruce, so I suggest you get to it.
Prayers, okay, prayers. This creepy whisper thing has to end. Files. Let all prayers be organized into files.
Well, that takes care of the voices.
Okay, I had to have made some kind of a dent by now. Oh, come on! What a bunch of whiners. This is gonna suck up my whole life. You know what? Yes. 2-all. Yeah, there you go. Now everybody's happy.
I mean, maybe it's because you're conceptualizing God in all of the Hollywood ways.
No, I'm conceptualizing a God that's involved.
Yeah, but
that's
God
involved at all.
God is not a genie in a bottle.
If he were telling the truth, he wouldn't have told us.
Unless, of course, he knew you wouldn't believe the truth, even if he told us.